come on. We're waiting for this one.
Yes.
And you're playing a bad guy.
Yeah, I love the way you put that. Making life very complicated.
That's what you do.
Miami's top cops. That's what I do.
Do you like playing a villain? Is that fun for you?
Playing the villain's fun.
Yeah.
You get to say and do all the things you ever wanted to say and do without having to experience real world consequences.
You're very different than some of the characters you play, which I think might also be liberating, right?
Yeah. I mean, I try to mix it up. It's you take what's available at times, but I try to do things that are a complete departure from who I am, and that's kind of the deal, right? But I'm so not like any of these guys.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like everybody asks me, like you're always playing the villain.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't get it, but okay, I'll do it as long as they're available.
Okay, what was everyone's reaction when you cut your hair?
Shaved.
This?
Yes.
Shaved.
I don't. Is there a reaction?
I don't know. Do people say, yeah, was there? What about your kids? Your people?
I hope it's a positive reaction.
Yeah.
It's positive.
Did you decide to do it for a reason or just because?
I did it for a role. I just did this series in Athens called Kabul, and I was playing a CIA operative, and I was like, this is probably a pretty good idea, and you know what? It's very low maintenance.
Yes. Do you love it? You feel liberated?
Yeah, I'm going to roll with it.
And it's cool for
You're
summer,
free.
by the way.
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting hot and sweaty back there on your neck.
I agree. It was a utilitarian decision.
Okay, we have to talk about this film. Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, they've been at this a long time.
Yeah.
What was it like to join them on set? Was it fun?
Okay, so I found them to be super affable and open, and two guys that really cared about the project they were making. Absolute professionals. And just guys, and we were just hanging out, and it was fun. It's like, oh, that's Will Smith, that's Martin Lawrence.
Yeah.
But it was really fun working with them, and this film is real. I've seen it twice. It's so good. It's such a fun ride. It's got, the action is kinetic. The story's got tons of velocity. The characters are great, and it's got heart. It's got heart, which is not something you find in films like this.
You know what? You have a lot of heart.
Thank you.
You were just talking about your kids, which is so fun to watch you discuss just how they are. But what is dad life like for you?
Dad life is, at times, if I really were to look at it under a microscope, it would probably be very, very scary with two young girls in the house, one 14, one 12. And I was just discussing with Rebecca the other day, we were like, is it time to let Billie take an Uber? And I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, are we there? Well, she's going to high school.
Right.
And it's wild to think that these tiny humans are now people.
Yeah.
Right.
I know. Is that, do you parent them differently? Are you trying to kind of evolve as they do? Or do you still see them as your babies?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm always going to see them as my babies. You know, no matter what the age, they're always going to be my daughters.
Yeah.
How do you not helicopter parent? Because I think we both have young kids too, and sometimes you're like, let them be, let them figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know if we're creating a generation of fear-based kids. But
worried about that.
You know, when we were younger, it was like, we had to figure everything out.
Yeah, totally. See when it got dark out.
Yeah, and sometimes it was dangerous, and we just had to deal with it.
Yeah. But and then you didn't have a failure to launch. Like, you were independent enough to move on
your
into
thing.
the world.
Yeah.
Well, you started to understand what guardrails you were able to put up for yourself. Like, as parents, we put up the guardrails, and the kids aren't allowed to create their own. And when you let them go out into the world and figure out what works and what doesn't work, then they get to create their own guardrails.
I love that.
That's good.
Okay, I love Euphoria.
Thank you.
I'm like a lot of people that are waiting
I know,
for it.
it's such a great
and
show.
I hate to ask you because you probably don't know, but what's happening?
Well, so we pushed off of 2024.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking at 2025, and I'm optimistic that it's going to come back. There's a real appetite for that show out there, and it's just too good to let go of.
Yeah.
You know?
Could you tell that was going to be a special project
From the jump.
Yeah.
Yes. The writing was spectacular.
Dane has come out to announce that he has been diagnosed with ALS, and he said that he's really very grateful to have a loving family besides him as he navigates this next chapter. Speaking to people.com, Eric came out and announced that he actually has been diagnosed with ALS, commonly known as amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. And he said that he had been diagnosed with that very devastating issue, and he's really grateful to have a loving family besides him. And of course, the actor, who is 52, is married to Rebecca Gayheart, and the couple share 2 children, Billie Beatrice, who is 15, and Georgia Geraldine, who is 13. He said in his own words that I really feel very, very fortunate that I'm able to continue working, and I'm looking forward to returning to set of Euphoria next week. And of course, I kindly ask you to give my family and I privacy during this time. And then, who stars as Jacob's family patriarch on Euphoria, is set to begin production on season 3, and of course the show will be released, I think, around April 14th or 15th. For those who don't know, ALS is also known as the Lou Gehrig's disease, and of course it's a rare degenerative disease that causes progressive paralysis of the muscles. I was trying to read through it, and they say that patients first experience twitching or weakness in the limb, often followed by slurred speech. And of course, according to the medics, they say because the disease affects the nerve cells in the brain and the spine that control muscle movement, patients slowly lose their ability to speak, eat, walk, and breathe independently. It's really a very tough disease. Of course, they are saying that there is no cure for ALS, and people usually live between 3 to 5 years after diagnosis, according to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. However, some patients can live up to a couple of more decades. There are a couple of other celebrities who actually have the same issue. They include Aaron Lazar, John Driscoll, Hopkins, Roberta Flacker, Kenneth Mitchell, and Stephen Hawking, and so many others. But of course, we pray for the legend, of course, to recover from that very devastating issue.